We rejoin the party in a tense situation, with Ferris wanting to murder all the gnolls, but the rest of the party wanting to talk. Eventually, Bokassa shows himself and challenges Cal William to single combat. Cal William accepts, and it does not go well, but Yaramir intervenes, unleashing his magic on Bokassa. The injured gnoll becomes enraged at Yaramir and sends him to the ground with a mighty blow. Chaos follows, and the rest of the gnolls unleash snarling wolves into the fray. Bokassa goes down, and the party fall back while fighting off the attackers. The retreat does not go well. Nash is slain, Grimes fumbles an improvised Molotov, and all the while Yaramir bleeds. The party manages to turn the tide of battle, and soon the corridor is littered with the dead. Despite being in bad shape, the party decide to enter the tomb once more and finish off the last of the gnolls inside. As they search the tomb, which is now more like the inside of an abattoir, and find no more living gnolls, but more disturbingly, there is no sign of Bokassa or Nash. The party also find a collection of various coins hammered into a large sheet. They eventually spot a group of gnolls fleeing down the mountain, dragging sleighs behind them, and they identify one of the shapes on the sleighs to be Bokassa. The party decide not to pursue and instead get some much-needed rest and return to the fort, as Yaramir was in desperate need of aid. Using the coin sheet and some polar bear furs, they make a stretcher for Yaramir and head out. The weather holds, and there are no attacks during the trek. Yaramir's conditions get worse, however. They finally reach the safety of the keep, despite snowballs attacking them near the gates. While resting, they brief the fort commander on what they learned out in the field. They also study the coin sheet they brought back and discover it is worth a small fortune. Will Ferris become the master chef of Caledonia? What secrets will the party discover in Bokassa's abandoned lair? Have we seen the last of Nash? Let's find out now on Frozen Frontier.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Frozen Frontier. How are you guys doing today?
I'm tired. I got bags under my eyes. You probably can't see because I'm all red-faced in my camera.
Yeah.
But they're hiding the bags. It's beautiful.
They're hiding the bags, yeah. I was up too late. My mom had a 50th, not anniversary, 50th birthday party.
50th anniversary of something, right?
Anniversary of her birth, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Absolutely. I stayed up too late and drank a little bit too much. And I learned a very important lesson. Pudding shots are gross. Don't eat them.
Oh, sounds gross.
They're bad.
What even is that?
So my mom apparently made White Russians and put them into chocolate pudding mix and then left them to sit in the refrigerator.
Sounds delicious. Oh my god, I'm so ready for those.
Basically alcoholic pudding.
Yeah.
Why not just drink the White Russian and eat the chocolate cake at the same time?
When you're 50, I guess it's more fun to I don't know. It was bad. It was not good.
Did you tell her it was bad?
She knows. I didn't say, Mom, this is fucking terrible, but I'm not someone that easily keeps emotions under my coat, as it were.
Got it.
Sure. That is not a phrase anyone says, but I'm gonna roll with it. I'm like Shakespeare, I'm making shit up.
Well, how have the rest of you been? Nick, you look like you're sweating.
Yeah, it's hot, man. I'm in a similar boat to Greg. Stayed up too late. Drank too much.
That makes 3 of us.
I feel like shit, but it's all right. Not been up to much else during the week, so.
When do you move into your new place?
Still haven't got a date, so they're all saying the end of July, but we have to give a month's notice on our flat, and we can't really give the notice until we know for sure the date, so.
Right.
I guess it'll be a month from the date when we get a date.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, soon. I will soon have a different thing behind me.
That was dramatic.
That needs to be a
Excellent.
GIF. It can replace the dramatic squirrel. It's just dramatic.
Cool, very cool. Are you looking forward to moving in? Your new
Yeah,
place?
I am now. Yeah, just sort of dragged on a little bit now. I can't remember. I think it's only been like 3 months or something since I started looking. But once you've found somewhere and the offer's been accepted, it's kind of annoying to have to wait 2 months before anything happens.
I can imagine. You know, it's going to be even hotter in Manchester than it is in Liverpool. I was checking the weather. It's a whole 4 degrees warmer.
Well, I'm in Manchester already, so
What does it convert to in real people temperature?
No,
With
that is real
Fahrenheit?
people temperature.
Oh, and that's in Fahrenheit. Okay.
Yeah, it's in Fahrenheit.
yeah, I moved to Manchester about a year ago, right?
Yeah, no, of course, right, because you moved in with, right.
Sure.
These things get forgotten.
This isn't the flat that you came to.
No, it's not. It's a different room in a different building. Yeah,
Yep.
I do recall.
So
that.
how hot is it there right now?
I don't know. Too hot.
73.
Oh, that's what it is here. It's nice, beautiful.
Well,
I love this weather.
94 here. Thank you very
Oh
much.
my word! Yeah, but you've all got air conditioning in your houses, haven't you? So we
No, I
don't.
don't.
I don't know.
I just suffer.
But it's all about relative.
It's cheaper
heat.
not to have air conditioning in a little
Yeah.
apartment. I just open up the windows.
Yep.
It's all about the relative heat. You know, if you're used to the frigid temperatures of England, then I'm sure 73 is, boiling.
Yeah, man. This is like really hot. 23 or 24, it's saying it is today.
I will admit that before I lived through
Perfect.
summer times here, I used to bitch whenever it went above like 65.
When I was in Vietnam and it got down to like 70s, people would start putting on parkas. Or, those like big, heavy, inflatable, or, the sectioned off
Really?
coats.
Puffy jackets.
The big puffy jackets. Once it got into the 70s, like 75, they're like, oh my God, it's freezing. And us from California are walking around in sandals and a t-shirt. And they're like, what is doing?
And that means they wear like shorts in Russia when it's like 20.
Yeah. People are crazy. Ryan, man, what's going on?
Doing well. I'm well rested. I probably did drink too much last night, but my hobgoblin liver took care of that for me. I don't know. I got a bunch of surprise grading this weekend, so this will be a nice little break for me.
Are we just a bunch of degenerates
What?
sitting around
Yeah.
and playing Dungeons and Dragons on a Sunday after drinking too much the night before?
That doesn't sound like degenerates to me. That sounds like good people. Sounds like people you want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, business as usual.
How many
Shot?
pounds of berries
Oh.
do you have left?
We froze almost everything at this point. I don't know how many we wound up. It was between 4 of us. It was over $100 worth of berries.
Yeah, but I have no idea how much that is when you
Yeah,
pick
I'm
them
not
by yourself.
Which
don't have
which
a-
berry season is it?
dozens of pounds. So on the 4th of July, we went berry picking I went with some friends. For those of us not.
Yeah.
Neal just-
Okay, so it's
Neal
California.
just randomly was like,
So it should be the same, right?
Yeah, it was a cold winter, so it was pretty late season. So we got strawberries, raspberries, something called the Tayberry, which I guess is like a blackberry raspberry hybrid. That's super good,
It is good.
delicious. And then these little black caps. It's like I don't know if you've seen like a thimbleberry, but they were black.
Cool. All right. It sounds like my kind of berry season. I always forget when my berry season is, which is all the raspberries and blackberries and shit. And I always end up going to Lee Farms way too late. So I'm gonna go hit up Lee Farms after the stream and get flats of berries.
Nice. Yeah, blueberries are my favorite, but the season has been delayed.
So you said dozens of pounds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like 25, 30 pounds of berries.
Yeah, not all of it was ours. Like this was an expedition.
Right, split
We
between-
split it up.
Of course. You only
Yeah,
get to
but
keep
we got
25%.
the bulk of it.
Yeah, we get
Yeah,
it.
there's probably, I don't know, 20 pounds of berries or something in our freezer. We've got a big chest freezer stocked full of meat and berries now.
Right,
Eating berries.
Prepare for the apocalypse.
You said thimbleberries that are black, right?
Yeah, they're called
Thimbleberries.
black caps, I think they were called. I think
What
it
aren't
is-
thimbleberries raspberries? Is that not?
Yeah. So it's like shaped. It's like a little cup that you like pop off the.
Yeah, they're just called blackberries, man. That's what we call. That's what we call blackberry. Look,
Really?
Put it in Google blackberry food.
Blackberry food.
They just came with a bunch of pictures of phones.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's something else.
They're everywhere in England, though. Can't move those fuckers.
Yeah, unless there's like a different Google in England. Yeah, no, those are blackberries here as well.
It's the British Google. It admonishes you for dropping your U.
Yeah, search for black cap food or black cap berry. They look pretty similar from the image, but they're like hollow on the inside. It's like a cap, and so like and the stem or whatever you call the thing that we needed to play D&D and stop talking about.
All right.
Sean, how's it going, man?
Good. I stayed up too late last night as well. I did not drink though, so I'm slightly less degenerate than the rest of you.
Loser.
Wow,
That's fair.
retroactive peer pressure.
Not a whole lot. I have like the light of God shining through my window right now because I'm in like a budget backup room. Somebody set my floor on fire.
Oh, you're still there.
Yeah. So
That sounds like a
should
good
be-
story, right?
I don't know, it's not that interesting. Like I was just playing games. I was like, I'm gonna enjoy my 4th of July, and all of a sudden I hear like beeping coming from outside the room. So I walk out in the hall and there's just smoke everywhere, and I'm like, are we burning down?
Is this it?
Yeah, somebody decided to try and microwave a Hot Pocket, and the microwave was like, hey, instead of microwaving that Hot Pocket, how about I completely melt the entire micro fridge instead? And the floor got set on fire, and we had to evacuate the whole thing because there's smoke and soot everywhere.
So just to clarify, this is a combination fridge, freezer, microwave.
Yes.
Modern
called a
technology is
microfridge.
amazing.
Yeah. They just tried to make a Hot Pocket, and it was like the first time they ever used the microwave, and I guess the microwave just wasn't having it and decided to break instead. And,
Is that like a thing you can't do? I would have thought you could microwave a Hot Pocket.
no, yeah, you can. I think it just broke.
All right.
They're kind of old, and he hadn't used it ever, so I think it was just broken, but nobody uses the microwaves on these things, so they just didn't know.
I once had a roommate that tried to microwave a yam, and it set the yam on fire and burned down the microwave.
I didn't expect the yam to start on fire.
No, like when we got the yam out of the microwave, which had filled the whole house with smoke, it was just like a dried crust of what once was like burnt toast.
Aaron did this several months ago.
Yeah, one of my old English teachers was making the microwave popcorn, and they accidentally added like an extra 0 to what they usually do. And they went to the bathroom during this time, and they came back to just like yellow smoke pouring out of the room. Yeah.
So is a yam a sweet potato? I'm getting really confused.
Yes.
Yes, but
Essentially.
no.
They're same but different.
Yeah.
If you call it a sweet potato, you're not entirely wrong, and you'll have certain people go, it's not the same thing, but it is.
But
Like
what
the
color
difference
sweet
between a
potatoes?
blackberry and a
Steve?
tayberry,
A sweet potato is orange, right?
Sweet potatoes, I think, are a little more yellowish.
They're disgusting anyways. It doesn't matter.
See, I think what you call yams, we call sweet potatoes.
There is a similar confusion here as well.
Well, I am confused.
People use them interchangeably, and they're not, and it's fine. There's like hundreds of varieties of potatoes. If
All right,
you're
well,
ever in
I'm-
DC and you go to the American Indian Museum, they've got a whole potato exhibit with just all the potatoes.
According
blow
to
your mind.
ncsweetpotatoes.com, all sweet potatoes are actually yams, or all yams are actually sweet potatoes.
Well, which one is
But
it?
not all sweet potatoes are yams.
Yeah. There's a difference there, Neil. You can't just say both.
The sweet orange-colored root vegetable that you love so dearly is actually a sweet potato. Yes, all so-called yams are in fact sweet potatoes.
But a yam is a thing?
So a
Is
yam
yam
is a type
something
of
else?
sweet potato.
Most people think that the long, red, skinny sweet potatoes are yams, but they are really just one of the many varieties of sweet potatoes.
So they are.
Well,
Yes. Whoever's wrote that has not done a great job.
A yam is a subset of sweet potato.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it is a yam. It's just
I think, according to Wikipedia, a yam is a common name.
Oh wait, I found the diagram to explain it.
Oh, you have a diagram?
Yeah.
I'll make a mathematical model. I'll graph it.
so when what's the origin of this word?
The name yam appears to derive from the Portuguese inhame,
There you go. Put it in chat for anyone who's interested.
or
There you go, guys. This will answer all your sweet potato
All right,
questions.
and after this, let's play some D&D, okay? This will be the last thing we do. Are you in the United States? Yes, probably a sweet potato, unless you're at the grocery store that also sells yams.
Oh, that's not helpful.
I think on the West Coast, yam is more common, or maybe just my family.
Yam
Ryan's
is something that's
family
said very
finds the
much in the
yams?
South. If you go to the South and ask for a sweet potato, they're gonna be like, here's a yam.
Yeah.
Is it bigger than a guinea pig? If so, it's probably a yam.
Yeah, so I think a yam is some African root vegetable that is not a sweet potato. I don't know. I was looking for yams, and there were these pictures of just massive tubers.
I remain equally confused as I was before.
I don't really know it. I think yams have smoother skin and they're slightly larger, but they're still sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So let's go into game. It's not actually raining. I think you guys have a whole bunch of things we want to do, and we kind of left off in the middle of a bunch of things. But was there somebody who wanted to get to something last week that we just didn't have time to?
I would like to
gotta
be
things
given
as well.
permission to join the voice channel again. That'd be nice.
Oh, because you keep getting kicked out of everything for some reason.
I don't think anything comes through the voice channel. Like
I love Discord.
I don't think
I'm like-
you're.
Oh, I might have accidentally changed some settings. I will fix that.
That's what happens when you argue with the DM, Sean. Accidentally changes some settings.
Accidentally changed some settings, and I guess Sean just somehow got booted from the Discord server.
That's a strange setting, isn't it?
All
Who
right,
knew there was that ban button right there?
you can join the voice channel, and you guys should all hear Rain now.
Yes.
I can't join.
Damn it! All right, what do the rest of you guys want to do while I figure out why Sean?
You're
just
not
won't-
in roll 20 either,
It's
Sean.
not your fault. It's Sean's fault.
There
Isn't
you go.
it Amazon
Now you
Prime
can join,
having to,
Sean.
Subscribe every month.
You should join Roll 22.
I'm working on that. Well, you're working on that. I'm working on this.
Okay. Oh.
Great start. I mean, to be fair, we kind of spent like 20 minutes talking about sweet potatoes, so
That's true.
we
That's
can't
true.
really complain.
So let's just roll into game. You guys are hanging out for a long
Did we
period of
play the
time.
recap?
Yes,
Yeah.
We played the recap?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool.
You guys were all talking through the recap. Why you didn't notice?
Yeah.
You guys are here for
I
like this
listened
nice long week period of time. And somewhere, the first maybe 3 days after you guys first show up, you
Hold
start
up,
getting...
wait. Are you skipping time?
No. Not really.
I think we should
Because we ended with me wanting to talk to people.
Yeah. Wait, I think this
sure.
is like the 3 days where you were asleep, isn't it? Because you were like,
okay,
conscious
sure.
and
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah, somewhere around here. So you start getting to see these NPCs, the other members of the fort, like kind of lurking around your room, or whenever they're walking past, like trying to poke their head in and get a glimpse of this, 5x5, 230-pound metal sheet that you guys have dragged in. It seems to be a curiosity and talk of the fort. Anything you want to do about this? How do you react to these soldiers trying to get a glimpse of your...
when is this? I don't understand.
This is in the first few days. It's like an ongoing thing.
Am I dead still?
You are awake and lying in bed.
Have I done the frozen? Have I done my experimentation on it yet that we did last session?
Sure.
Okay, then I just give it to Corporal Alicia.
Okay.
You're gonna just give her the big ass metal sheet?
Yeah, I mean, like, this is one of the things I want to do, right? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I do think we keep it in the storeroom, to be fair, Neal.
Yeah, like I give it to her with my 8 stone spearheads I managed to get. I try to hit on her again a little bit, and I apologize for not bringing back furs because I got hit with an axe. Right, like that was my plan the entire time. But
Okay.
I don't know. If people come to my room and want to see it, Yaromir will make a presentation of it. Oh, welcome to room of great coinage. Examine the elven coin in middle. Very
Yeah, actually, on that topic, at some point, maybe before Yarmir would drop that off with Corporal Alicia, I think Ferris would go to Yarmir and say, "Tattooed one. That's a coin with the brambles, the branches." Would you be able to help me pry one out of there?
No. I'm not strong enough, nor do I have proper tools. You would need proficiency with metal working and good tools to get that out of there. Simply bashing it out will probably reduce value of peace. I say, I have studied this, probed it with my mind and with the arcane will of this place. This coin, though may have been elven at one point, no longer is. I promise you this is not a piece of your people, nor is it something you wish to keep with you.
I want it for reference.
You have seen it. I have seen it. You have reference.
I want to know what sort of display you make to the other people of your.
I mean, if they come to my room, that's weird because I was trying to give it away. But if they come to my room, I'll just like stand up, be like, "So you wish to see coin?" And I just like take it off the wall. I start
hold
pointing
on.
at it and making like.
This thing is 200 pounds. The only one capable of moving it by themselves is Will.
I don't take it off the wall. I point at it while it's laying at a weird angle on the wall.
So
I'm
people,
like-
you know,
I just start making shit up about the like images on it. I'm like, this one here, you see, old man with mustache. He is a great descendant of King of Caldonia. This I have seen in the words and in the symbols. This here, this brambles, this is formation of forest, is from very indigenous species. However, you can see from these markings here, they were killed off, all of them dead by this bastard right here. This one he is known as Butcher. Right.
Can you give me a
I'm gonna
bullshit check?
interject a little bit when you're going off on your tales here, just because I don't really think William wants to be lying to the other people who work in the forks. They might then go back and tell the story to the princess, and we could be caught lying.
How do you know he's lying?
Well, I don't
Yarmir,
know
can
he's
you give me,
lying, but
like,
it becomes.
a bullshit proficiency check. You're gonna have to decide what the role is, but you seem to have that
At
under
first,
control.
I'll let him talk about it, but when he starts to say obvious, ridiculous things that he couldn't possibly know, I think.
I think it would be my charisma versus your willpower or wisdom.
Yeah. All right.
Sure.
one we're
Let's
going
do
with.
it.
Let's do it.
Damn it! Stop it, thing. Fucking work. There we go.
28. Oh,
31.
What?
My bullshit is greater than you.
So maybe I stand up to go and stop you, and then you say one more thing, and I sort of second think it, and like, oh, maybe he does know something about this, and then I'll sort of sit back down and carry on listening to the story.
Yeah. So I do. I just look at all the symbology that I couldn't find a whole lot of deep meaning in, and I just assign it meaning that I'm sure that the people will like to hear.
So I think after they go, then I'll say, Yarmir, where did you learn all this? How do you know so much about this? What have you seen?
Is a long and difficult study, the study of symbology. I have learned that most symbology in life is total and complete, how you say, bullshit. Most people just want to hear that it is meaningful. It is very rare that symbology has deep meaning. When it does, the symbol is very powerful.
I can see that. You're covered in symbols.
Yes.
Well, don't go filling the guards' heads with too many stories that they might take back to the mainland.
If they take them back to mainland, what is problem? You shall have greater interest in your own expedition, and the word of common folk is often ignored.
Perhaps, but I do not want to succeed on the back of a lie.
Success, is it not?
For you, yeah.
You don't live in your castle anymore, Lord. How shall I address you? Sir, it has been a long time since Yaromir has been near nobility. Anyway, you do not live there anymore. You now live in a world much similar to one Yaromir knows well.
Well, I intend to be going back.
Then when you go back, regain your honor on the boat. Here, honor gets you killed. Here, not caring about lies helps you survive. You need
You're the
to
one.
focus on living before you can focus on going back.
You're not the one to be giving advice on how to stay alive, given I had to haul your corpse 3 days
And
through.
if I did not intervene, we would have been holding yours.
I sort of give him a narrow my eyes and walk out. I'm gonna go and get some pen and paper from the stock room.
Oh, William, if you're going to stockroom, could you pick up sheet? It turns out it's very heavy. I'm not so strong.
Oh, what, to take it there?
Yes.
Yeah, well, give me a hand then, and I'll like lurch it off the
Sure.
wall.
I pretend like a little bit, even though I'm not helping like at all.
You just
Yarmir's
provide,
like the
some
6-year-old
balance.
kid who insists on helping you carry something, but they
Yeah.
don't have the muscle strength to do it.
Between
Alright, yeah, so
the
then
two
I'll
of you,
take
you
it
manage to haul it to the storeroom where Corporal Alicia takes it into the inventory, and you can see her even like marking it down in a ledger. One giant metal sheet, check over here. One, polar bear skin, check over here.
Also, I lost many of these in pitched battle. It seems I was not able to collect as many, but I have for you, Mrs. Alicia, a great corporal, 8 stone spearheads. And I count them out to her. I had many more at one point. I fear that the blow to my side made me lose quite a few.
Picks one of them up and kind of turns it over in her hand. Is like some sort of ancient artifact.
No, well, is possible. Is weapon head that a dog creature used to strike at us. I had arrowhead and spearhead for you. I think they are less good than what we have, but in pinch may be important to help resupply. I don't know. I apologize deeply for lack of furs. I had every intention of bringing them to you as you requested, but sadly, an X to the stomach is not something easily lived through.
We will try and go back and retrieve them. We know where they are. Alicia, when you get some time, could you maybe try and work out how much this sheet might be worth? So I'd like to know what we can requisition when the boat comes.
I believe it is worth 3 times 1,477 copper. Gold. It is worth 4 times 14,775.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
without the grind.
Alicia's the one that worked that out, though, I think, right?
No, it was
I
me.
think-
In
yeah.
the
It
grind.
was you.
Yeah, we dealt with this last time. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Grimes
sorry.
and Yarmir were able to math it out.
Okay.
So we got.
Well, Alicia still says holding one of these stone spearheads. Don't trouble yourself too much with finding these. She says she tosses it casually onto the floor nearby. We have plenty of steel spearheads or bronze spearheads. If it comes to fighting with primitive Stone Age weapons, I think we're lost anyway.
I thought
It's
bronze got a penalty to hit against metal armor, right?
Against
I think
iron armor.
I think these stone spearheads have been. You've been using the full to hit bonus. Is that an oversight?
No.
Are they being nerfed here on out?
If we want to go into the detail on iron and bronze and stone, so basically all weapons, armor is the same AC against all weapons. But if you're using a material harder than the armor is, you gain a +1 against that armor. So stone and bronze weapons against bronze armor have the same 2 hit bonus, but a steel weapon has a bonus to hit against bronze armor.
I think the debuff to stone is on a certain roll it can break.
Yeah, and it just also sometimes it has a lower damage roll as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't. So it was an oversight that you weren't giving Knowles combat penalties against William.
No. The steel armor is only going to make. Let's not worry about it. Let's move on.
Okay.
So as we leave the
right.
storeroom, I say to Yarmir, I've never known a man to win a woman's heart through gifts of stone arrowheads. You might want to try something a little bit more.
Well, it was supposed to be first, but it was all ahead. Also, why are we walking away? Hold up, I have to go back. Yaromir gets very confused.
All right, I leave him to it.
All right, it's just you and her now, Yarrow.
So, Alicia,
Yes?
have you given any thought to having dinner with me?
We eat in the mess every night.
Yes, this is true. I did not think of this eventuality. Would you like to have picnic dinner?
A little cold outside for a picnic, I think. Winds are quite moderate today.
It can be cold. I like the cold. It really invigorates you, no? Well, I will give you thought. I will ask David to prepare spiced rum at some point. I
Wouldn't
will
you be
be
more
back-
interested in having dinner with Sergeant Mallory or Elizabeth?
To be quite honest, I have not met Sergeant Mallory yet. She is blank in my note sheet. I have literally no knowledge of Sergeant Mallory other than she exists.
I think she's on patrol right now looking for seals.
Then it would be very difficult to have dinner with her, no?
I suppose.
She's-
He kind of stands there awkwardly, not sure what to do about this situation. Well, I have many duties to attend to, so rain check?
Okay, I am sure you are a very busy woman. I will ask again another time. And I kind of awkwardly walk away. Like,
You come-
in the
you come back
most
to the
awkward
room.
way possible.
Do you come back to the room?
Sure, I can do that.
So I'm like sitting there writing my letter or whatever. I look up and say, "Didn't go well then."
It went about as well as can expect. Yaromir has had very unfortunate luck with ladies since
That's not truly a lady.
Well,
Not really.
his youth.
A harpy in disguise, Yaromir.
What's
know,
your
Grimes,
problem
I
with
think
Alicia?
it would do
we
you
found
well
that.
to keep that to yourself, Ferris.
Well, I was going to say, Grimes, I think we found a rather
So I
mutually beneficial arrangement.
So I think Grimes has gotten in the habit of not being around the fort.
Oh, okay.
With
No.
our room being turned into an infirmary, I think he's out and about.
Yeah, and that I guess I just refer to him without him being there then say, I think I found a rather mutually beneficial arrangement with that strange rogue in our party. Turns out the quartermaster is much easier to deal with if I don't have to see her or listen to her or hear her in any capacity.
This is good. The less you see her and interact, I am sure the better off we will all be.
Agreed.
She certainly is the one with the personality problem, I suppose, Faris.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yaromir knows you're being sarcastic, but he refuses to give in to the sarcasm. He's like, no, I believe the fault lies with our friend Ilf.
I failed to catch your meaning. It was one dagger. Who says no to a dagger to your expedition? I think Ferris was.
Are you not going to defend her honor, Yaromir?
No, I believe her honor is entirely intact. He is just, how do people say, salty?
Honor is not in the domain of cold-hearted banshees.
Neither is it in a cannibal.
It's not cannibalism. Do you feel bad?
Normal, all right.
No. Do you feel bad for eating the animals that you slay?
No.
Then why should I feel bad for consuming humans?
That's not,
Well,
that's not the
because
same thing,
humans-
Faris.
Humans have two distinct advantages over animals. One, opposable thumbs. Very important adaptation. Two, ability to reason, think, build emotional bonds. These things you do not find in your common animal.
I think perhaps you give animals too little credit. The only reason you consider it fine to eat animals is because they occupy a lower space on the food chain than you.
So
They're a lesser creature in your eyes.
does
Humans
that
are
mean
blessed by the
that
gods.
the humans should eat you, seeing as you occupy lower space?
I think you might have your perception backwards, my friend.
Well, there is only few of you and many of us. Is this not how we see it with animals? How do you identify lower space on rung, if not by volume? Or ability to create weapons?
It was a concept of quality over quantity. But truth be told, I know not how many elves still exist in this world.
Can
They
I
rather
tell
keep to
you a
themselves.
story of great war? There is story I have learned in folklore of great war between mighty human clans. One created rolling battle monuments that could fire incredible weapons and move at high rates, were very effective and quality was high. However, evil people used them and good people rose up. They had less engineering proficiencies, however, but they were able to create mass quantities of similar rolling war machine. These mass quantities in number overwhelmed higher quality machines, leading to great victory for good guys.
I don't know where he
Oftentimes,
gets these
quantity over
stories.
quality is good thing.
It
I'm not
says a
sure.
lot.
I'm not sure. I agree with your conclusion.
It says a lot when the cannibal's the least insane person in the room.
So I think
No.
there's a lot of back and forth between you guys.
Yeah.
Ferris, is this getting on your nerves that these people are making such a big deal out of your eating of souls?
I think Yarmir often puts Ferris on tilt because, like, whenever they get into a discussion, he always winds up in this spot of not really having anything to say in return. Like, generally, when William says something, I can just be like, "Fuck you, William." Just
Yeah.
go over there and kick rocks. But like Yarmir always seems to have some sort of retort that leaves Ferris without any sort of immediate comeback. He might be a little bit too slow-witted for that, and that definitely puts him a little bit on tilt.
I feel the same. The army's got a silver tongue and I don't like it.
Is because you are men.
Maybe.
So, Grimes, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, so I think during the day, Grimes disappears into the woods for all intents and purposes. In reality, he's never more than 100 or 200 feet past the clearing line. But I patrols the woods, enjoys his newfound freedom. I think I'm practicing moving stealthily in the snow and climbing trees and exploring this new environment. And then every day before sunset, he'll return to the fort with 40 pounds or so of firewood chopped and climb back over the wall with the firewood, or I don't know where we store our wood.
I don't think you need to climb over the wall with the firewood. There's a gate.
Grimes never uses the gate.
Okay.
He's practicing. He's got to work on that climb check somehow.
Yeah. No, I think he takes pleasure in attempting to slip in and out of the fort unnoticed. I mean, the guard on duty, no doubt, has spotted him at least on some occasions.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the days. So So I'm not really I'm not healing. I didn't need to heal. I can recover at 1 HP a day for the week. And then at nights, I think I'll probably hang with the crew or whatever we call them, the soldiers. There's a mess hall, you said?
There's not really a mess hall. There's like a semi area. If I can't bring us all to the right page, fort together.
Oh, I'm
Is
too
this-
zoomed in.
Yep.
Is this to scale?
Yes, this should be to scale.
Yeah, that's why I don't spend time in the fort, because our room is like 12 by 7, 12 by 8.
The size of my bedroom back home.
And it's basically, then there's like two wounded party members laid up in there.
Yeah.
It's stuffy. So there's no mess hall, is there? Or is that the...
Not really. So
Where
there's
do we
a
take
nice
meals?
fire pit here in the captain and Corporal Alicia's quarters.
I'm back. Maybe.
Yeah. So that is a spot where a lot of cooking can get done. Because there's a nice big fire there. And then often people will get like their food slopped out to them, and then they will, head somewhere else to go eat it. Head back to their barracks.
So the barracks are where the crew spends most of their time.
I think they spend probably most of their time just kind of walking around, unless it's really fucking cold or they're tired or something. Because these are tiny rooms. There's no windows. The only light is from like if you leave the door open or you hang a lantern or something.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like dingy, musty places. They're not like fun to hang out in.
It seems like there's nowhere fun to hang out.
No, there's nowhere fun to hang out. So you can frequently find people kind of just like milling about in the middle, walking back and forth. They're playing games, throwing the shit at each other, sparring outside of the walls or sparring in this little area here. Sometimes people will sit on the rooftops and kind of look out. The roof of the fort bends inward like this. So if you scroll to the very, very top, you can see that the fort bends in.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you can hang out on the roof and like interact with people in the yard and whatnot.
Yeah. The reason it bends inward is to make the outside wall as tall as possible. You wouldn't want, the short side facing the outside, even though there's also like a palisade attached to it.
Is this a stage here?
That is a watchtower.
So that's above the fort.
Yeah, that goes above the roof line.
Okay.
And there is a brazier in the watchtower that can be filled with wood or coal to keep the person on watch warm.
Is there any? What is the roof situation for this like middle room?
This is exposed to the outside.
Yeah, it's outside.
That's a yard.
Outside. Okay.
Yeah,
great.
this is all outside.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is there a big like fire pit somewhere?
Nope.
How do we stay warm?
You are inside, and you have like a lantern or maybe a small fire pit in your room.
I thought we had like a big fire in this fort because I thought we.
Yeah, I feel like there's got to be a way to heat the fort.
Corporal Alicia and Captain Hughes, they share a room, and they have like a big fire pit where cooking can be done. Each individual room has like a small fire pit and a tiny little like hatch chimney that you can open or close. So you can like have a little fire going to keep your room warm.
So did we go to the captain? Because I remember in the first session, Grimes like dove into the water, and then we all like congregated around a fire while
That was in
their room. Okay.
Yeah, that's the big fire pit.
Yeah. So I think in the evenings, Grimes is shooting the shit with the boys, gaming with like the soldiers. I teach them Mancala if they don't already know how to play. And yeah.
So I think I would like to speak to Grimes at some point. So maybe it's just one evening while you're playing cards and you've been knocked out early or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
And I say,
Kel William.
yeah, Grimes, I heard your version of events that you're spreading around. I appreciate the sentiment, but perhaps try to keep things true. But that's not what I came to talk about.
You know, rumors. These things are out of my hands. The people talk, and apparently you're a big, strong hero. I give him a pat on the bicep.
Well, I know I didn't start them, and I doubt Faris would say such nice things about me, so...
Yeah, that Yarmir is quite the storyteller.
Well, I don't believe he was awake for most of it. Anyway, what do you think we should do now? Because the plan was to go and speak to this Musa fellow and have him lead us to this great wall, but without Nash. Do you think that's what we can do?
I think perhaps if you're willing to part with that axe,
Yeah.
we might buy Moose's loyalty.
You still think that's... I don't want to walk into the same fight we've just won.
Look, I would keep it quiet what all went down with Nash and the other Gnolls.
You mean to them?
I nod.
Yeah.
But I think Musa could still be a potential ally.
Well, you're going to have to bargain well with him, because I don't fancy another battle. We'll head back to the cave, see if we can't find those furs, and maybe... Do we know where Musa's lair is?
I shake my head. Somewhere in the woods south of here. Between here and the cave, I believe.
Oh, really? Maybe we try and find it then.
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave you to your game. And
Shall we deal you in, Captain?
what are you playing?
What are we playing? Are we just playing Moncala, or do they have their own games available?
There are no games at the fort.
Okay, I guess we're trading off rounds of Moncala with this Nolish set.
Yeah, all right. So you can teach me how to play. Yeah, so I'll hang out with Grimes and the.
Neal's too busy getting bullied in chat.
These people are ridiculous. Apparently, chat wants to hear about what the NPCs do in the downtime to maintain the fort. So we're going to spend a few minutes talking about NPCs shoveling snow. So, guys, the NPCs are shoveling snow in the yard. And they're shoveling snow off the roofs. And someone empties a latrine. And there's some linens hanging outside that are there to dry. But, it gets cold and it's kind of hard to fully dry the linens when it's freezing out. But they try anyway.
I'm glad you're bringing this up because I'm glad we have this moment downtime. Ferris needs to go to the bathroom, and I feel like that's a scene that we haven't really gotten around to exploring that side of his character
We've never
yet.
talked about that. How is it that Ferris goes to the bathroom? Like, what is your ritual?
Well, I think the first thing he does, he lights incense. He takes his time. He does some light reading whenever he sits down. He plays some phone games, but it's a little bit too primitive for that. He just pulls out some nice wood slats instead with his old poetry. He reads his own work.
He's got like Ferris's book of poems that he's like writing on and reading out loud while he's in the latrine. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So what? Are there any other big things that you guys want to take care of together as a group before we start delving into individual things? Like, I know Yaramir wants to learn some spells, and William's got a letter that he wants to send, and the ship should be arriving pretty soon.
So I think the only thing is we're deciding what it is we want to requisition from the mainland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think we've already planned that out of here.
Yeah, we've planned that out of character, but I guess
during this week we'll discuss it in character, I think. Which I don't know that we actually need to do.
I basically, someone hands me a requisition form and I fill it out, and it looks a lot like this requisition form offline.
Okay.
Is there anything to drink around this fort? So at some night, Grimes will lean into the soldiers he's playing games with, and so what's a guy got to do to get a drink around this place?
There are rations of rum nightly.
Oh, are there?
Yeah,
That's a thing.
That's a thing. Yeah. If you're looking for something a little bit more, I think Joseph tried to dig up some roots and make a tea with them.
Is Joseph the cook?
He's the carpenter. He's the one of the sergeants.
Does Joseph ever play games with us, or is it just?
No, he's a fairly kind of focused person, and maybe a bit a guy with a hot temper. He's quick to anger, especially when interrupted or inconvenienced, and he typically solves his problems with force.
Does he have a title, or is he just a soldier named Joseph?
He's Sergeant Joseph. He's one of the 3 sergeants that each leads a patrol.
No? Yes. Okay, never mind. I see him. I was going to say, I have 3 sergeants written down. It's not Joseph, and it's because the name I wrote down is not Joseph. It's like, Jafasafa. I don't know what the fuck happened here. Okay.
Cool.
Right. So I think we're probably good. Do we want to?
I want to talk about Yarmir's spells then. You got some downtime to learn spells now.
I'm doing other things in my downtime before I do spells.
Okay. You guys want to talk about requisition forms? What do you want to get through right now?
All I want to do with Ferris, I want to go to the quartermaster's place at some point and just spend like a good 20 minutes, maybe even longer, so I can like carve some details and like write some things down, some notes. I want to study that elven coin. And Yarmir said we couldn't really extract it And like, you know, Ferris wanted to protest, but I have no idea how we'd extract that coin from the thing.
Yeah, it's like they're all hammered together, so all the coins are fused together.
Yeah.
They're multiple
So
coins
instead,
thick. It's just a mess.
Ferris wants to go in there with like just a blank wood sheet, and he's gonna like just look at that coin, note down all the details, like write down details about it. I think he wants to like write it down in words in as much detail as he can, essentially.
Sure. Corporal Alicia will help you drag the metal sheet out of the storeroom and outside, but she won't let you hang out in the storeroom while working on it.
Okay, that's better for both of us, I think.
Yeah. There's also more light outside. It's just a better situation altogether.
And then, aside from that, I think I want to talk with William at some point, but that's about it.
Well, I'm around most of the time. I mean, I think I just sort of keep to myself in the room.
Yeah, I think Ferris probably just comes up to you at one point and says, "So, fearless and mighty leader William,
Put down
there's
my
a
letter. Yes.
I think we need to discuss a bit of strategy here.
Go on.
Well, on the way back, you carried our incapacitated friend on a large sheet of metal and dragged him across the snow. And I think creating something like that might be in our best interest, but I don't want to go back out there with a 240-pound metal sheet again.
It was heavy. The gnolls seem to be using something similar to drag Bokassa's corpse away from the cave. I'm no carpenter, so it's how I would put one of these things together somehow eludes me. It seems like it would be obvious, but I don't know. I just can't finalize the details in my head. I think maybe we'd need to speak to someone who was a little bit more specialized.
I mean, could we not find a large, flat piece of wood?
Anyone can make your most basic, like, I'm going to toss things on a thing and drag it.
Yeah.
That's a simple thing any of you guys can do.
And you said that would basically have the effective weight of something?
Yeah, that would have the effective weight of it. If you want something fancy, like a proper sled with runners and that sort of thing, that is a technological improvement that you as players understand, but your characters don't know. So you would need an example of it, or you would need someone who's like an engineer and a carpenter and has some experience with these things to put it together.
Does our wizard not have an engineering proficiency?
No.
In game terms, if you bring in carpenters and those other sorts of people from the mainland, they can help build you tools and advance your forms of technology and equipment.
So I guess maybe we could pull a board of wood together to simulate what we did with the coins, but what is it you want to carry so much?
We'd carry more rations.
Firewood.
Anything that we normally carry on our backpack could be put on a sled.
Yes, it's true.
Then we could carry heavier furs, heavier armors without slowing down our movement rate.
I already have to carry quite a lot, Faris. I didn't really enjoy dragging Yaramir 3 days through the snow.
Well, hard work is how we get the reward.
Couldn't we get some sort of animal to pull it for us?
Not sure if there are any oxes down here.
Yeah, maybe. I guess I'm the closest thing to an ox, eh?
Whatever you need to tell yourself.
Well, look, I can carry my gear. I can carry some rations for everyone else, just fine. Maybe it's worth having one if we were to be going back to the cave to bring back all of the furs. But I'm not sure carrying one around as standard really leaves me easily able to walk around and fight when necessary.
Couldn't we just have it two-pronged, 2 ropes attached to it, 2 people pull the sled?
I suppose. If you feel so strongly about it, maybe you can.
I think it'd be a good tactical decision for the expedition.
Well, look, we've got a few more days, I think, before I'm going to be fully healed. Why don't you see if you can't whittle away a board of woods to specification?
Very well. As you command, and Ferris gives like a very exaggerated bow before leaving the room.
What is that guy's problem?
You can do other people's stuff, but I'm just gonna look around for something that would fit what we're looking for, like a large board
there's
of
no
wood.
like spare boards lying around.
But I mean, people are like chopping down trees and stuff, and they just want logs, right? So are there like, would there be any like wasted wood that's just kind of lying around the fort?
not that like if you want to put together a sled like this, you're going to need to actually like fashion some boards, which you have the
Okay.
proper tools in the fort for. There's like an
Sure.
adze and an
Yeah,
axe.
I can spend a few days
all these
doing
sorts
that.
of things, but you're probably going to need to hook up with Sergeant Joseph, who is
Mm-hmm.
the fort carpenter. And if you can, persuade him to give you a hand with this, you can easily put together a nice piece of equipment without any checks. If you're going to try and budget yourself, then it's going to be a little bit more of a pain in the ass, and we're going
Okay.
to have to bring out the dice rolls and some other role playing.
Okay, so I will try talking to him, but you might want to do some other people's stuff first because I think that's going to be.
Sure.
Well, it might just end perfectly. It might not. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyone else having something to do?
Yeah.
All right, Yarrow. It's you.
Do you want to do Elizabeth first or David and Amelie?
Let's do David and Amelie.
All right, so I'm gonna go to David, and I go up and I say, "Hello, I have not properly introduced myself. My name is Jaromir. It is a pleasure to meet you."
He takes your hand in like a big, kind of boisterous grasp and shakes it roughly up and down and goes, "Nice to meet you, Yari."
It is great pleasure. I hear your name is David.
David.
David, yes.
Yeah.
Not
Family
not
is,
from Drekis.
Don't tell the others, but my great-grandmother was a Cuban. We still pronounce it the old way.
Oh. I have heard great things about the Cuba. One day I would like to travel there.
Well, then you are a more learned and tolerant man than the rest of these swine.
It comes with the background, I am afraid. Tolerance is not something that is taught in my homeland. It is only after leaving that you find the need for it.
Well, you're not gonna find much tolerance around here. I can't tell you how many times I've been promoted and demoted till they got me
no.
here, middle of nowhere, freezing
Well,
my ass off.
Perhaps the two of us can teach these savages the way of true community.
I like the cut of your jib. What can I get for you?
Well, I do not know if you have noticed or not, but I have take shining to daughter, Amelie.
She's a cute one.
She very much reminds
And if you
me,
hurt hair on her head, I'll cut your throat and feed you to your friends.
as you should.
Good.
You kind of get a glassy-eyed look in Yaromir for a minute, and he kind of looks at me and says, "She reminds me very much of someone who is special to me. I wish to create a gift for her. Children should not be in fort without things to occupy time that are fun and entertaining, you know? As a cook, do you have access to jars or a ceramic, like for jelly? I would like to requisition one or two from you."
I have some jars that food stuffs come in, but I'm supposed to return them to the storeroom when they're empty. Gives you a bit of a wink.
Yes, well,
Whoa. But what did you
perhaps
say?
if they were to go, if they broke or something, and your daughter were to put them back together in her spare time.
Accidents do happen. But what are these jars for?
Girl who is very special to me liked to. Well, we had ant farm back in day. We collected ants for her, and she watched them build. I cannot make said thing here; it's much too cold. However, there are very many genus and species of cold-bearing wildlife. Your daughter showed
Genius
some
wildlife? Are you insane? Shit out here, if there's any of it, is dumb as a brick.
Yes. Genus is not a how you say, is not description of intelligence in this respect. Is a classification of different type of animals. Is something you learn in books. Is not always necessary.
I've
Normal
had much
people
use
do
for
not.
book reading myself. little too highfalutin for my taste.
I understand. Books often not my preferred method of communication and knowledge, but I have found that society at large uses them and are necessary.
He nods knowingly. All right, so jar for ant farm sort of thing.
Yes, I propose that we create a couple for different creatures she could keep as pets, feed them, they entertain her. I am thinking like a grasshopper or perhaps lightning bugs.
He nods. I'll see what I can do.
You much appreciate. I assume that I have to wait for him to like get an empty jar. It's probably not going to just hand me one in the spot.
Yeah, it'll probably take a couple of days, but you still have a few days before everyone's healed up anyway.
Okay, so in the meantime, I guess I've learned that Joseph is the fort carpenter, and well, I guess I need to know how many jars we got. I kind of envision like making a shelf for Amelie, and like putting some jars on it that she can like have little like bugs and stuff in, like you know how you keep a caterpillar in a jar. I'm thinking that type of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, as he frees up jars, he will hand them off to you, but it'll be like an accumulation over time.
Okay. Sure. Then we'll hold off on that a little bit. I'll continue like in into remaining days, like playing with Amelie a little bit. I'll tell her stories for my folklore proficiency, right? Like I've learned all kinds of things. Like it will tell you story of precocious girl with red hood and nasty wolf, right? Like I tell her some stories to keep her entertained when she's free. And the other thing I want to do while I'm waiting for the jars is to go speak with Sergeant Elizabeth.
Okay. You can find Sergeant Elizabeth.
Ms. Elizabeth, I am most grateful for your attention to my wounds. I realize I can be a difficult patient.
She kind of cocks her head to the side, looking at the area where you've been wounded. You really shouldn't be up and moving about right now. You're going to tear one of them.
You are not wrong. That is good medical advice. I have many things I wish to do, unfortunately, and I cannot be a good patient right now. I do wish to provide service to you in repayment for your kindness and your skill. Perhaps when people are wounded or need treatment and I am here, I can help you treat them, relieve you of some of the burden of the fort. Also, I would propose that perhaps we can trade in knowledge of the medical arts. I have found in my travels that what I have learned and what the studied masters of Drekis know are very different things. I am very self-trained in healing, and I have knowledge of anatomy that has helped me. But many of my remedies are folk remedies, are smaller, sometimes overlooked by the masters of the craft. I think there are many things you and I can both learn from each other.
She nods fairly enthusiastically. When I'm off duty, I would love to trade knowledge on this. I've joined up to be a surgeon, you know.
I am very, very familiar with the anatomy of people. I think we could help each other. I could help you learn exactly where to cut, how to remove organs. I believe this is very much a possibility I could help you with.
Have you ever had to amputate a leg before?
You kind of get this like flashback of Yarmir working as a like healer in the woods somewhere, and he was called into small villages all the time. And there was a particularly nasty like run-in with a boar, and there's just blood everywhere, and you could just see Yarmir freaking out. It comes back to him. He's like, "Yes, not a pretty sight."
There's maybe a bit of awkward silence as you both remember the butchering of people.
Very bloody past. Yeah.
And then I think she just kind of nods and then turns and heads her own separate way back to duty, about to lead a patrol to go find some food.
Okay, solid.
And why don't we actually go to our first break right here? And when we come back, we can get into a few more things before trouble strikes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's see you guys
Right.
on the other side of our break. Bye-bye.
See ya.